Hello and welcome to the Greenway Outdoors podcast. My name is Kyle.
I'm AJ.
I'm Ryan.
And we have Carly B, not to be confused with Cardi B. How many times do you run into that online?
Way more than you think.
You guys
funny.
don't really look alike either. So
Not quite.
Not quite. So I found out about Carly through a lot of things. I mean, we find out about a lot of things through social media. And I saw some of the hunts that you were putting on and the people that you were taking out, and I was really inspired by it. And it just so happened that you live like next door.
Oh, yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Fenton, Michigan, the center of the world.
It really is. There's like a lot of talent in the area.
It's been that way for a long time.
Pro boxer Joey Spencer. There's us. There's the huge chapter SCI Flint that you're running.
Shout out Spencer.
Yeah.
I watch every one of his boxing fights.
He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw him in Walmart the other day.
Did you?
Not to sidetrack. Yeah, we talked for a little bit.
He recognize you?
No, I recognized him.
No, I like the guy. He's cool. He's super supportive, and his stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
But
yeah, what I've always been amazed at about Fenton too, like when you talk to people, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, so and so's son's in the NHL. Oh yeah, so and so's in Major League." It's like
Kid Rock hangs out on the lake over here or something too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you go around anywhere else, and they're like, "Yeah, one guy in 1981, he's on a sign out in front of the town because he made it to, the one playoff game in the NFL."
Shaggy was in town a couple months ago.
Shaggy, I thought Shaggy died. No, that was what was the guy's name that Jeremy went to his concert at a ski resort. No, this is not good. I got to remember this.
I need more clues.
Yeah, I didn't give you enough. Is it? Yeah, I'll think of that in a minute. It's on the screen right now. You can see it right there. That's what I'm trying to think of. There it is.
Unless we don't know. Unless you can't remember.
No, I will. I just don't. The funny thing will be is if he didn't actually die, and that came up in my head, and I was like, yeah, I think he's dead.
Lou Bega?
Yeah. No, it's now I'm like, when I say the word outcast, it's not outcast. It doesn't matter. Anyhow.
All right.
Fenton, center of the world. Shaggy was here.
Yep.
Kid Rock swims in the lake. And Cardi B wishes she could be Carly B because she's doing all these really cool hunts. I want you to talk about some of the work that you do because our initial goal with the show was we wanted to reach as many people as possible in mainstream television in order for more people to be inspired and learn about conservation, kind of planting that seed. But so we're seed planters, but we're like casting over a huge wide audience. And that's great because that's our approach, and I really hope it's working. But your approach is a little bit different in the sense that you are boots on the street, one at a time, hand-holding new people into the outdoors. And it's working. How many people did you take out this year alone?
This past year, I hunted with 83 new hunters, personally. Through a mentorship program, I got another 7 hunters out who were able to procure their first deer or duck with other people in our mentorship program, amongst other people that I kind of took out fishing and lost track on that.
Yeah. How does one start something like this? What program are you doing it through? What is that mentorship program like? What is it?
Yeah, so I volunteer through Safari Club International Flint chapter. We are one of the larger ones in the world, which is exciting. So we've got some resources, and it's cool because it's a group of people who all share a common mission of conservation, education, and getting new hunters in the field. So I'm the director of membership and events. So if I come up with anything that supports those missions, then they're like, hell yeah, go for it. So they were allowed me to create a mentorship program, which is the first in the country, and they're actually working on replicating it at as many chapters as possible, because what we do is we get vet mentors who have experience, because if you think about hunting, right, there's a lot of fellas out there who have experience. They're older. Maybe they just don't have the excitement anymore. Some of their buddies aren't hunting. Their kids are gone. So they don't really have anybody who's got this burning passion that they want to share. So if they don't have the grandkids around, I've got a laundry list of people who want to get involved. So I'll match them up as long as they have similar interests.
So you're talking about experienced hunters, people that have been hunting their whole lives. And that is something we hear too. Especially, we talk about 60% of hunting and fishing licenses are sold to white males over the age of 55.
Mm-hmm.
Problem with that is in 10 to 15 years, they're not going to be hunting anymore. We have to replace that demographic with the up-and-comers, which is exactly what you're doing. So you're kind of utilizing those people that make up the majority of our license purchases and kind of retroactively going back to the new hunters and pairing them up And it is something we hear all the time is these hunters that have been hunting their whole life. They do it their whole life. And then their kids don't want to hunt anymore because now they're like 28 years old and they're busy and doing other things. Their friends can't go with them. This guy's got a bum leg, diabetes, whatever it might be. And now they're going alone, so they kind of lose the passion for it. But taking someone new out kind of like re-triggers that, like re-inspires them.
Exactly. Well, and a lot of the times they have the gear, they've got access, they've got the expertise, so they're like it's the perfect opportunity to pair them with a person who's interested in getting going, and kind of what a hunters love talking about. Hunting.
Yeah.
So get them with a kid who loves watching the YouTube videos and, your guys' TV shows or whatever it is. Let them get out there and talk about some real life experiences, get that older fella excited about it all over again and kind of help build that community with people coming, into it. So it's been absolutely fantastic. Like I said, the mentorship program has just skyrocketed. We've gotten a ton of people out on their first, duck hunt, deer hunt. We're setting up a turkey hunt. We do some other educational classes, like handgun safety, stuff like that.
Sure.
Everything is designed around like the educational aspect as well. So how to clean whatever you harvested.
Sure.
Use it in the kitchen, stuff like that. So it's been fun, really just building that community. I probably keep in touch with at this point, it's got to be like 50 or 60 women. Like last night I went cosmic clay shooting and we got 2 girls and their husbands out and I just met them through hunting. One of them's a first time hunter. Yeah. So it kind of just builds community, gives you some friends who share common interests. It's pretty cool.
Let's break this down for the listener. Let's say you happen to be from Michigan or you happen to be near a Safari Club International chapter and you're like, dang, that does look like fun. I would like to hunt, but I don't know how to do duck hunting or I don't know how to do deer hunting. Or I don't have access, or I could use some tips. What do they do in order to get paired up with a mentor?
On our website, seiflint.org, we've got a link to our membership. You just fill out a form with some basic information, and you'll, at that point, get contacted probably by me or someone else if it's through a different chapter, and you'll get matched up to someone who basically fits what you're looking for. And it's someone who's background checked, so it's going to be safe. If it's someone who's through our Flint chapter, I personally know them, probably personally hunted with them. So it's a really safe environment that you're going into.
I think that's an important point too, especially be honest with you, like if I had a younger sister or my mom or a girlfriend or something like that going out with a guy they had never met before and they don't know anything about him and there's definitely going to be guns, it's like what's the background in this? So it's good that you guys are doing those background checks and double checking. And
the last thing I want to do is send someone out to promote what I love. Like we already have enough people that we're fighting as hunters and conservationists. I don't want to send them out in an unsafe situation and have it, kind of come back on the whole sporting group community.
Yeah, you're like, for lack of better words, because I hate to say this, but you're creating like a safe space for, it's like taking the wrong, this is like the safe space I can get behind.
Yeah.
But if you're a mentor, what's that like? Someone who's like, hey, I'm that person. I'd love to take someone out and teach them and pass my knowledge along. What's the process for that person?
seiflint.org or reach out to your local Safari Club International chapter. We've got a link for mentors to fill out. So what's your expertise? If you were to get a mentor, what would you prefer to take them on? Like, what would you feel comfortable on? Because, I signed up as a mentor. By no means do I think I'm the smartest hunter out there. I'm not the most experienced, nothing. Can I take another person out waterfowl hunting, help them be successful, have fun, educate them to the best of my abilities? 100%.
Good. Take Jeff out. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
sorry, Jeff.
Even if you're not someone who's feels like you're the best hunter in the world, still you can sign up if you've got a little bit of knowledge and the willingness to be an educator. So definitely feel free to check out our mentorship. So it's the same form, and then from there we'll get the process started of the background check and stuff like that.
Would you say these hunts tend to follow the same script each time? Or is it like every one of them is like, damn, I didn't see that coming? Walk me through what these hunts are like. Because you're doing so many of them, like 80-something hunts. That's a lot. A, that's a lot of days in the field. Yeah. B, that's a lot of days in the field with people you don't know.
Yeah.
And C, what's the snack situation like? How are you preparing?
So I have at this point just a note document where I've got kind of depending on what hunt we're doing, what you're going to need in a gear bag. Don't bring a duffel bag.
Oh, yeah.
Bring something small. This is what you need.
You get people that never come before come in pink snow pants.
I've seen all sorts of stuff. I knew of a girl who actually had went out on a date, and she was telling a fella she was this big waterfowl hunter and stuff. And she's actually, I thought she was interested about the stuff that I was doing. She was texting me asking like, hey, what kind of duck was this and stuff. And I'm telling her all this stuff.
She was using you?
She was using me for information to pass along to this guy, saying that she was a waterfowl hunter. And I'm thinking it's cool. She's finally interested in some of the stuff that I'm doing.
You're borderline dating the guy yourself.
I know.
You're like, I got 2 boyfriends now.
Yeah,
I'm
and
good
she
at this.
calls me. She's like, what the hell? And I'm like, what? I went on this date. And I show up and I was wearing all orange. I'm like, what were you doing? She was going waterfowl hunting. She thought all hunters wear orange.
She did not wear
She
orange.
did.
And she built the case like she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
She showed up in all upland gear, and I was like, well, you didn't ask me that, and I didn't know you were using me for this. So it was just, that's like a funny one.
I love that story. That is bad.
That's crazy to self-proclaim being a duck hunter and have no clue. Like, just straight lie.
Oh, yeah.
I met my ex-girlfriend that way. Almost the same thing. She, we got picked to be models for Garmin. So it was like a fishing thing for Garmin. And we were supposed to like take pictures and stuff. And they asked a bunch of questions ahead of time to like vet you to make sure you knew what you were talking about as the model. And the questions were written in a way that led me to believe immediately that the person who wrote them doesn't know about fishing. They read about fishing and then put questions together based on what they read, because it was like stuff you wouldn't ask, right? It's things you wouldn't say. And I ended up getting paired with this other girl, and she messages me on Facebook, and she had a boyfriend at the time, and she used him to answer the questions, so she got picked.
Oh, my God.
And then once we got there, she didn't have a damn clue what was going on.
No idea how to cast a pole.
And then the Garmin people were like, I ended up like covering for her, and then we ended up dating for 2 years, but that didn't work out. Anyhow, yeah, people like that. So good thing he got away. I'm just kidding. It's your friend. I'm kidding.
But no, and that's why I tell everybody, I'm like, don't try and, feel like you have to have an ego in this situation. Like, I'll explain everything down to the, bare bottom, like, of what we're going to be doing. If you got any questions, just be honest with me, because as soon as you don't ask a question, we can create a dangerous situation. So I've got this like little text that I'll send out to everybody, and it's cool because then you just kind of
please don't shoot
snowball.
me.
Yeah, right. So we kind of snowball from there. All like just friendly reminders. Have a plug, bring your licenses. Stuff's gonna get wet. People don't bring duffel bags. Like, literally, I've had people show up and they just have like monster duffel bags of like everything that they thought. I'm like, dude, why'd you go to Cabela's and buy like $1,000 worth of gear? Like, you could have, like, I would have loaned you some stuff, but you just need a backpack,
Right.
Like, so I try and like help people because they don't want to show up with not enough stuff and look silly. But I'm like, now you have way too much stuff. So it's fun. We'll kind of walk through that. I try and answer questions. I keep like a running list of previous questions at this point. So I kind of like can build off of that, which definitely helps me.
I do the same thing though. Like when I'm taking people fishing, I'll be taking walleye fishing on the St. Clair River, the Detroit River and stuff. And I'm like, we're trolling. I have everything. Bring nothing. Because I'm going to be running our trolling rods with line counters and all this stuff. People will be coming out with like 2 rods, bobbers, a tackle box. It's like, it's just more shit in a boat. Stop it. Don't bring it. I said, don't bring it.
Yeah.
Dad. No, I'm just kidding.
It sounds like you're a great mentor because of the way you approach people who don't know anything. It seems like a lot of times, there's this common theme amongst hunters where they tend to have a know-it-all stance.
You talking about 28 gaugers?
Yeah,
that's what we call them.
28 gaugers. Where, like, for example, we were at a bow shop and we're just asking questions, just learning.
Meanwhile, we know a decent amount, but we're still asking questions.
Wait, we just want to know more. That's all. We're just there, giving you business, asking questions, and it was as if we're idiots for it.
She knows the place. Don't say it, but she knows the place.
Yeah. How often do you run into that? Not necessarily with your mentors, but just people in general, where you are like, "Hey, let's take it down a notch." Like, do you see that yourself in people? Like,
how do you prevent 28 gaugers?
Yeah, when you're in the community.
I've definitely seen it. I was just telling somebody, actually, I ran a youth pheasant hunt. That was awesome and having a ton of fun, and all the kids had like no experience. But I had a couple kids who were experienced shooters, just not experienced hunters. And the parent comes out and walks behind them. And this dad on every single bird that came down was, "Great job, son. That was all you. You shot that bird." And I'm like, there's 5 kids in this field, sir. You know, like,
And your
even
kid didn't
if
lift the
it
gun
was-
that time.
Yeah, well, and even if it was him, the kid was a good shot. Like, I'll admit it. So even if it was him dropping these birds every single time, you're making 4 other kids feel like shit
Yeah.
on their first hunt ever.
Yeah.
And so I straight up called the dad out. I was just like, wow, I'm amazed that out of every BB coming out of 5 guns, that you can tell which one's killing that bird. I've never seen that before, sir. That
That's
is
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Did it go
And-
over his head and he didn't get it?
Oh no, he picked up what I was putting
okay.
down.
Good.
And he immediately stopped. He turned like what, absolutely like ghost white.
Good.
And stopped talking for the rest of the day, which was cool. And I'm like, I'm all about getting the parents out there, and I want to have fun, but don't make the other kids feel bad. So if I got situations going like that, I try and find a nice way to like shut it down. I also try to go out with people that I know are gonna kind of overtalk, make people feel welcome. I remember I ran a women's pheasant hunt, and it was a great event. But when I first walked in, not knowing some of the guys that were volunteering, I walk in and no one says a word to me. They don't know me or anything, and I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Like, so
Right.
it's like 10 older fellas, and bless their hearts for volunteering. I appreciate it, but I was like, hey, I'm here. Hello, I'm a woman. The event's for women. Like, come say hi. If not, leave.
Right.
Like, that's the whole thing. Like, making people feel welcome. Like, everyone's already nervous enough because they're holding, you know, they're going to be using guns. Maybe they've never used them before. It's their first time going out hunting, something like that. So trying to get the right people surrounding you. I also am a person similar to like what sounds like you guys were doing. Like, if I know the answers, I'll still ask the question. You know, I'm like, I know how I felt the first couple times I went out waterfowl hunting. And I just kind of start just like filling all of the dead air with a bunch of different questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you're anticipating. I mean, that's like what a podcast is. You know what I mean? It's like I know the answers, but I ask the questions because you want the other people around to hear it. No, that's
Exactly.
a perfect way to do it.
Exactly. And so many people I feel like are scared to ask the questions. So I'm like, you know what? Even if I seem like a ding dong, I'm going to ask all the questions that I think you need the
Nice.
answers to.
Yeah.
No, that's the perfect mentality, and that's the thing that we're talking about when we say we call them 28 gaugers, and we thought of it when we were in Maine. We were like laying in bed one night under the stars in a tent, moose hunting, and we were talking about how like when you go into some gun shops, when you go into some archery shops, when you go into some different places like that, like you walk in and these places treat you like you're so stupid, and they've got like a list of things that they often say. So we wanted to make a shirt that, and we call them 28 gaugers because it all started off of this. We're talking to, this is a DNR officer, okay?
Well, really, it goes back to the archery. That's when the first seed
Yeah.
was planted.
And we're with this DNR officer in Maine, and he's like, I don't know why you guys have those big guns. We're friggin' moose hunting, okay? So I have a 300 WSM, which is Winchester Short Magnum. 300 Winchester Short Magnum is good for whitetail. It's good for mule deer. It's good for moose. It's not the biggest round either. You know what I mean? Like, it might not be the one you would choose for that, but that's what we had. And he's like, I don't know why you have that big gun. You don't need anything more than a 243. I'm like, is that even legal to use a 243? like, but it's like the mentality of like, I use the smallest thing possible and can do better than you with your big thing because I'm so great.
Yeah.
And there's like a class of hunters and fishermen too, that do that. And I love that you clearly despise it because it drives us crazy, because it's like, we do this for a living. We're in it every single day, and we never act like an expert because we do so many different things, right? We'll be moose hunting in Maine. The next day we'll be snakehead fishing in Maryland with bows, and then we'll be in Hawaii hunting axis deer. Like, we're doing so many different things. There's no way we could be an expert on everything. So I do what you do, where I ask the questions especially for the show. But then it's like you have to be careful with who you do it with, because it's almost as if they feel like got one over on you now, like you're an idiot. And that's but they say things like, you can't eat the antlers, you don't need a gun that big, blah, 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 blah. So because of that, we landed on a couple of the people we talked about were like, you don't need anything bigger than a 28 gauge, which nowadays, especially with like Bosch shells and stuff, they've come a long way, so you can actually get away with using a 28 gauge.
Oh, man.
But it's just to say that it's the smallest thing, that people often use for it. So we want to make a shirt that says 28 in big letters, like your class shirt, like when you graduated high school, and then fill in the 28 with a bunch of the phrases. So if you can help us come up with something, that'd be great
I love it.
to add to it, just to be like, don't be, and it's going to say don't be, and big 28, and then gauger underneath.
Have you been to, I'm guessing you probably have, the gun store down the road here?
Yep.
About half mile. Have you noticed that in there?
As a woman, I feel like you notice it in every single outdoor store you walk into.
Not Massasauga.
Unfortunately,
To
yeah.
Good point.
To be fair, not Massasauga.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't been in there.
No, I know, but I just don't want it to get, because they're also right there. So I just.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Not.
So I haven't been in there. But yeah, unfortunately, as a woman, when you're walking in to most outdoor stores or going up to a gun counter or something, it's like, you're shopping for your boyfriend? That's so sweet of you.
No way.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I can afford it. Can you give me a discount or something? It'd be really cool, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh, so you're
I'm like,
you're playing in the future. You're like living in 2030, playing way far ahead of him
would
on
be
that.
extremely annoying.
it is.
Every-
Yeah,
you
but
know?
she's working it.
I'm like, you make the rules, I'll win by them.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
no, it's frustrating for sure. Especially, you know, I'm a person, I guess, maybe either with too much stupidity or a little bit more confidence. But I'm like, I can definitely play with that. You know, and ask the questions or kind of come back at one of those fellows who's, you know, maybe giving me some shit or something. But it can be really intimidating for another girl who's walking in there and she's like so scared to even be in a gun store. So it's disappointing. So I try and talk about it as much as I can. One of my girlfriends was just at one of the really big retailers, and the guy was like ignoring her, and she was trying to buy a pair of binos. And it's just like, I don't understand it at all, but I try and air that out no matter what. Whenever I experience it, and usually I'll get it kind of like worked out to in a way that works for me, and then I'll go back around and be like, dude, just so you know, you kind of came off as like a douche. And they're like, what? And I'm like, dude, it was rude. Like, I'm between you and me, I'm not going to tell your manager or anything, but it was rude. Like, I'm a pretty active outdoors woman, you know, and I feel like you should respect someone, whether it's their first day hunting or they're shopping for a husband, or if, you know, they've killed every animal on the face of the earth. Like, just be nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What I love about that
That's
too is,
awesome.
like, one of the things that I see that actually, and I'll be honest with you, it makes me cringe a little bit too, and we talk about it, is I love the angle that you're taking on it and how you handle it, because all you're asking for is to just be treated normal, right?
Yeah.
So everybody gets treated the same. And I noticed too, like, and it's probably because of guys doing this to women, but women will often like overcompensate, like, oh, I can shoot better than all the guys, or I can do this, or I can do, and it's always like this pitch, and it's like, just be normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everyone's on the same page here, and I think it's because guys are constantly doing that to them, so they feel like they have to over that, and it's just like, you have the perfect approach of like, listen, we're all just here, and we're all just hunting.
Let's all relax.
And if I got a question, or you got a question, I got an answer, you got an answer, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, and especially for our mentorship program, you know, or someone who's thinking about being a mentor, if you know you're someone who doesn't have patience or isn't going to answer a question, you know, without answering with a question or be sarcastic, like, maybe don't be the mentor or offer or introduce them to someone else, send them my way. You know, I've been on some things where I'm just like, oh my God, the dad's just talking down and beating down on this kid. And I'm like, this is not a good first experience. I was on a double date once, and the fella was like, are your eyes even open? And I'm like,
Whoa.
dude, this is her first time sporting clay shooting. Like, chill. So it was kind of funny. But I will say, the second date I had ever went on with my boyfriend, we went sporting clay shooting because he knew I was an outdoors woman, and I was kind of being a little sassy about it or whatever. And it was so funny because I was so nervous about going out, like pooping my pants nervous, like, I just talked a big game, now I have to perform, and so evidently so was he. And it was funny because we went out to the same place we did the cosmic clays.
You guys shoot like 18s. Yeah.
We go out and I'm shooting okay, but I'm so like freaked out about my performance, I can't even tell you how he shot. Evidently he wasn't shooting great, so he's like in a mental spiral, and we're both on, like, you're on this date, so it's like, it was like one of those days where you're just so out of it that after like 3 or 4 stations you would have been like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But we're on this date, so we both can't, and it's only our second, so we can't admit it to each other. We're both on this mental spiral. We finally get done and we're like, oh, wow.
He's like, you having fun? You're like, oh yeah, fun stuff.
Like, this has been great. Thanks.
Did you guys make it?
Yep.
Still dating? All right.
Oh yeah, loving it. And now we get to laugh about it.
Is he in the squirrel competition?
He is. Yeah.
Did he partner with you?
No, I'm a mentor, and he's mentoring as well.
Okay.
So we're both taking a mentee out, and
That's awesome.
I'm gonna see what we both come up
I'm
with.
kind of taking a mentee out. I'm taking Abby out.
Yeah.
She's freaking out. Yeah, she said today that
What?
she was having anxiety about it.
Well,
She's gone to shoot clays once or twice, and then she's just freaking out.
Clays are probably
She's like-
harder than squirrels.
She's like,
honestly.
people are gonna see that I'm no good, and this. I'm like, no one's hunting with us.
Yeah.
No one's
Yeah.
hunting with. She was like, no, they're gonna know. They're gonna know.
Okay.
She's like, what are we gonna say? You shot all of them? They're gonna know. I'm like, no one's gonna know. Ryan might know. That's about it.
And who cares?
Yeah, who does care? She's
Exactly.
freaking out. So maybe you talk to her.
Yeah, no, it's a good opportunity. I feel like it's one of those ones where, again, it's just me, the two of you guys, or whatever. So no one will know. And I don't know. I feel like anybody can take a stab at shooting a squirrel. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it's not that bad.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Savage Arms. Better comes standard. Nosler Ammunition. World's finest bullets, ammunition, and brass. Boss Shot Shells. Superior made and American made. Carlson's Choke Tubes, the only choke tube we've ever purchased. Onyx Hunt. Know where you stand.
If you want to be here, it all starts here. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we have the widest selection of the quality brands you love to get you outdoors. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our friendly, knowledgeable outfitters will help you find the right products for your next trip. Shop with confidence with our low price guarantee. Plus, club members save even more on great gear with exclusive member pricing. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, voted America's best outdoor retailer.
There's a ram. Legends aren't born, they're created. Introducing Impulse from Savage, the all-new American-made straight-pull bolt-action rifle. Unmatched innovation, fast reloads, maximized efficiency, repeatable accuracy. Welcome to American Straight Pull. Only from Savage.
How many people are signed up so far?
We have 32 teams right now.
That's rookie numbers. We gotta get it
Dang.
out. We gotta get more. Yeah, that's 74 people. We might need to give you some more shells. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So-
That's a lot of people.
We're
It's
talking.
our first annual.
Yeah, tell everyone about the exact event because
Yeah.
we're kind of leading into it weird.
So Safari Club International Flint chapter, or SCI Flint, we are hosting our first annual squirrel hunting competition. It's going to be based out of Fenton, Michigan,
Yeah.
Center of the
center of
universe.
the world.
Yeah, so you're no matter where you are, you're the exact same distance as everyone else from it because it's the center of the world.
That'll be a T-shirt tagline soon enough.
Yeah, with Fenton with a globe. Get it booked. Call Courtney.
But it's going to be awesome. We are doing registration in the morning, hunting all day, then coming in. Teams of 2, you can bag up to 10 between the two of you, so 5 per person. And then we're going to be weighing your 5 heaviest squirrels.
5 heaviest. I thought it was 3 for some reason.
5 heaviest.
Shoot.
So, yeah. But
I come in with 2 reds and a black and 2 grays. You're like, don't even bother.
Not
dude."
gonna cut it.
He
Yeah.
brings chipmunks back.
I heard your judges suck anyways. Isn't it me and you? Yeah, we'll pull it off.
Won't play favorites.
So people come. It's Saturday the 20th. What's the time does everyone have to register by?
The 18th. Register online by the 18th.
I'm sorry. Time of day though for the.
Between 8 and 9.
So get there between 8 and 9.
You can get there before, and we're going to do a little backup so you can get on the road faster.
I was gonna do a shotgun start no matter what. No, I'm just kidding. It's in
As
the middle-
each vehicle pulls out.
That's in the middle of town.
I know.
That's actually pretty funny. I'm like,
So-
go. What are you looking at, Brian?
The average weight of a squirrel is about 1.5 pounds, 1 to 2 pounds. So I was just curious.
So
to
if
see,
you get
like,
a- it's
what,
like
what would
bass
be a
fishing.
lot out of 5 squirrels?
They're pretty fat right now, though.
I got a squirrel story for you. Actually, I got a question.
Oh no.
Can I tell my squirrel story at the beginning of it, like when people are at the end?
It'll probably be the end.
I promise I can keep it
afternoon.
under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If you can arrange, we can work on it too. Getting a lie detector test set up there, because everyone here thinks I'm full of shit.
No one believes.
I will
He
take a
cl-
lie detector
Claims
test.
he's seen an
I'll
animal the
put
size of this room.
I will put no. I will put my hand on the Bible on one side and take a lie detector test on the other that this is a true story. So if you want to hear Kyle's squirrel story again, then come to, what's the location?
Rolls Mechanical.
Rolls Mechanical. That's your family company?
Yep.
At between 8 and 9 a.m. on Saturday, January 20th. Come meet, hang out with us, check in, and then once the squirrel competition starts and I fire off a few rounds in the parking lot, everyone leaves there. They can go anywhere they want.
Yep.
I'm going to go to Squirrel Farm. And I just can't. Anyone can go anywhere they want and then hunt for the whole day. And then they come back with their 6 best. I'm like, I thought it was pine squirrels only.
5 best.
5 best.
5 best.
Be back at 4 p.m. with your 5 best squirrels. We're going to weigh them. We've got an overall division, women's division, and a youth division. And we're also doing chunkiest squirrel. So the chunkiest of all the chunky squirrels is getting a special prize.
Closest, longest drive, closest to the pin.
Yeah. Yeah. They come back, they judge it, we do the judging, and what are some of the prizes? Because I know one of them.
Ooh.
I made the girl prize pretty cool, didn't I?
You made the girl prize awesome. So we've got a Savage 12 gauge.
Yep, it's a 560, semi-auto, 12 gauge, great gun, comes with the chokes.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good prize.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I'd be stoked.
That's an awesome prize.
I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, you could pull it off.
I'm going to still be a really good mentor and not pressure.
Is your mentee a girl?
It is.
Nice, okay.
Yep, I've got a girl who's never hunted before going out with me, so
Jeez,
we're going to have fun. Even though there's great prizes on the line, we're still going to have fun.
You're like, we're having fun, right? She's like crying in the passenger seat. You're like, I shot 6. I can't do this. She's like,
How old is she?
Right now, I'm talking to 2 different women, but I've got
you haven't picked
one,
yet. You really want to win. She's like, they're sending me their patterning videos right now to see which one patterns her shotgun better.
No, I usually have people back out last minute. That's the honest truth.
Really?
If I take out groups, I usually get someone who backs out at the very last minute. So
that sucks. I didn't even think about that. So what about for your mentor huts? You did 82 hunts?
83.
83. I was trying to take it from you. 83 hunts. How many would it have been if people didn't back out?
You'd probably stack on another 10, 15 people.
Jeez. So you're running about, 15, 20% bail?
Yeah. And it bums me out because it's always like the night before, and I'm a night owl. So, they'll text me at 11:30, and I'm like, so then I start texting people, but everyone else is asleep. Or I'll get a text that's at 4:35 in the morning, and they're like, hey, I'm not going to make it. And I'm like, darn, I didn't even have time to find someone else.
The sad thing is, too, is whatever excuse they're giving, it's probably because they have anxiety, but you don't know them well enough to be like, talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Goose. Let's work through this. Yeah, that's a bummer. How many squirrel hunts, how much dedication and time do you spend squirrel hunting every year?
This is going to be my first squirrel hunt.
Really? Have you ever eaten it?
I have not.
Man, it's pretty good. We went to a wild game dinner I spoke at, it was winter before last, and somebody there, it was like one of the church potluck ones where you're like, you either get the gems or you get food poisoning. And this one was great, and the people there were freaking out. Like, this guy walked in and everyone started clapping because he came, so it's a big deal. I'm like, what did he bring? And they're like, squirrel. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I'll grab a piece. Dude, he had the perfect batter going when he fried those puppies, that it was as good as those alligator legs we had in Texas.
That's a big claim.
It's a big claim.
I know you weren't there, so I should have looked that guy up. Actually, I bet I could track that down. I wouldn't mind getting that recipe, doing a vlog on that sucker, because it was just incredible.
Where, if you don't mind me asking,
where are you hunting? Give me coordinates. We'll get on XL.
Yeah, I just wondering this because I don't have any places top of mind because.
You were legit asking.
Yeah, I was.
Jeez.
Are you guys doing public land or do you have a piece of land?
I'm gonna start hunting private on land that I have, and then I've got 3 or 4 public land areas.
Nice.
Now for some of the people who've reached out to me though, they've been like, "Hey, I'm coming in from far and wide. Where can I hunt?" And I've given them a couple of these.
Far and wide.
So
nice.
You'll probably run into some of my buddies out there. But I'm going to start there. My property backs up to well, they're starting to get it plowed, but it's a big cornfield. So
Nice.
I'm like, I could get some chunky fellas out there.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like thinking about I'm like, there's no places I've been to in this area where I'm like, that's a lot of squirrels. There's a lot of squirrels there. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe I just haven't paid attention to it, but it probably helps that you have cornfields and private property.
I'll tell you what, the cornfields are everything. Where I saw the massive squirrel, my story that I'll tell, that is, it was in the Thumb, and it was like those strips of, 4 acres of woods that border farm fields that have a ditch with water going through them, and it just breeds fat squirrels. And we shot a couple there that we harvested that were huge. So it's out by Ray.
Oh,
So
that's where you saw that thing?
Yeah, I knew that was in that area.
Fillion Road.
I thought it was like Mesick or something.
No, squirrels don't get very big up there.
Cold.
Well, it's cold in the Thumb too. But yeah, I wonder if we should talk to Ray. Like, because we could haul out there. What is it, 2 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we went straight there.
Although the weather's supposed to not be very great, right? There's
I've
supposed to be like
looked.
a big storm coming in.
Come on.
It's
I
a way,
swear.
it's a ways away to really.
Yeah, they don't
It's
really
a week out, yeah.
Isn't
It's
it tomorrow?
Michigan.
It's 8
No.
days. You think the competition's tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's the 20th, dummy.
Oh.
So can Jenna go
Totally
then?
thought- yes, maybe.
Oh my gosh. You do anything to keep her out of it.
Yeah.
Jenna, I'm trying to get him to let you come to things, and this is what he does.
He's like, Jenna's my wife.
My
He's
mom's
like,
trying to FaceTime me.
Would Jenna want to go? I'm like, she works. She works tomorrow, but clearly I was wrong. So she might be able to go. No.
So you're like cleaning guns up there, getting ready.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, it's the 20th.
Yeah, I had that all mixed up.
It's on the Google Calendar.
Going up to Ray's, you got a big chunk just in travel time.
You do, but it's all about the fatties,
Yeah, that's fair.
and they breed them up there.
You were just talking of like multiple stops.
Yeah, well, I got a spot here private. I had a second spot here private because the guy said I could use it, and then he messaged us yesterday. His name's Jerry Jackson.
You
And
redacted?
He goes, I'll see you there. You're going down. So if he's,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so he signed up because of me, which is great, but that eats up a spot, Jerry. So, yeah, so there goes one.
All right.
But we have the one here local. That's like 30 acres of private. That should harvest some squirrels there, and then we can jet over and do the. We can jet over to Pete's because he has a bazillion there, but they weren't that big. But there's a lot, so we got to get those numbers up, though. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to come in with 5. You're not going to win. So you got to get your 6. So
Is Wayne top 5?
it's Wayne. Okay, it's Wayne.
5,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So
with
you
top
can
5,
still-
you can't get 4 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get 4 squirrels, you're not gonna win, unless you got the one.
I mean, if you're playing to win, you're looking for 5 fox squirrels.
Yeah, don't shoot blacks or grays or reds. Easy, Ryan. Jeez, I could have worded it better. I'll give you that. But yeah, that's kind of what you need. So this is your first time squirrel hunting?
Yeah.
You ever use a squirrel call then?
I have not.
Do you know the value?
No. Educate me, please.
Are you doing the thing? Because if
What?
you know.
Yeah, she's
No, I
faking
really
like she
don't.
doesn't
You
know, but she
okay.
does know.
If you know it, if you know, then just tell me. Don't do this. No, I'm just kidding. So a squirrel call, it's like it doesn't really sound like that, but it's close. A squirrel call, you make that sound and you blow into it, and it's like aggressive enough that you're like, what the hell is that? Kind of reminds me of the same ones you use for raccoon hunting. And then the squirrels, they'll hear it, and it sounds like a squirrel beating up on something or freaking out, and they'll come out and look. And then that's when you get them.
All right.
Yeah, so squirrel calls. Check your local Bass Pro or Cabela's for a squirrel call.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm going to order one. I don't know where mine is.
You have a week to do it.
I haven't, certainly not tomorrow. But yeah, it's if you're going to your property, because you've got property that you obviously haven't squirrel hunted, but you've probably seen some
I've been
squirrels.
saving it. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I should go out and try. Then I was like, and I want to rabbit hunt.
It's not that hard.
But I'm like, man, I don't want to disturb anything. So
Yeah, just let it sit.
yeah.
Just let it sit. I really hope we get a random warm, clear day, though. That'd change everything. Matter of fact, I might even pick, like, if it's warm and clear up by Rays, that's the better move. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, completely weather dependent. Because if it's snowing and stuff, we know this from deer hunting. You sit in the same blind. One day you see 50 squirrels. Next day you see 0. It's because of the weather.
Mm-hmm.
But that squirrel call can draw them out, and they'll come out and look. So when you're hunting your property, especially the first time, they've never had a call blown to them ever. Be really cool. You know, Meat Eater did that episode 2, or 7 episodes because they do so many duplicates now, of them squirrel hunting and small game hunting with dogs, and they were running squirrel dogs.
That's pretty cool.
That'd be hella valuable for this.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's 2 teams because it's a husband and wife, but I think they're splitting up. They're running squirrel dogs for sure. Been talking to a gal who I think is going to bring out her falcon. So.
Dang, we're gonna lose. We're gonna
Oh
lose.
my God.
It's going to be
Unless
an
that
interesting
falcon-
group.
Unless it's a baby falcon and one of those dogs got a cut nose, we're screwed. No, I'm just kidding. It's all
Falcon?
about the size, though. You only need 5. It's not about numbers. It's about size.
Yep.
As long as you get your 5, you're in the play.
Well, and it's between 2 people, too. So that's for any of the teams, even if they're not experienced, getting out there and trying. You got all day to give it a whirl. And, even if you do end up bagging, one of the black squirrels or a gray or even a red, some of the
still
teams
eat
might
it.
not have lucky. I did a women's fly fishing tournament fly trout fishing tournament. And I was kind of sweating it because I'm like, God, we're catching kind of like smaller fish. But a lot of people just were not having luck. It was such a warm day. So at that point, it was like a quantity over quality type thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't do too bad, which was cool. But it was like the whole time you're just like, oh, I'm not going to compete. I'm not going to compete. And then lo and behold, no one was doing well.
I won. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. There's days where you go out duck hunting if you do like a managed waterfowl area and you're like, man, I sucked. All I got was 3. Then you go in and you're like, you're the only group that got anything so far.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Then everyone else sucks. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think too, if Jenna can go, we can make Abby and Jenna on a team so they can do girls and then we can do guys.
And we win both categories.
Yeah. And
Take
then
everything home.
we donate it. Yeah, we donate everything and then take
Well,
If
there's going to be
I
a second
wanna-
and third place, too.
I want to win, but we'll give back. We'll give back. Right. Well, I will. Ryan won't.
He better win. You want to see him cry.
I'll freak out. No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
fair.
That's fair. I was gonna say, as far as what gun you're using, are you going shotgun or are you going rifle?
I think I'm going to do shotgun is what I'm thinking. So I think me and my mentee, because they're going to be borrowing a shotgun from me, I think we're both going to be shooting 20 gauge.
Nice. I'm actually gonna be running the gun that we're donating. So that's because it's supposed to come in. I'm gonna use that in the vlog. We're gonna be filming this for our vlog series. So if you're not familiar, we have our main show on the History Channel where we do 10 to 12, 13 episodes a year on History Channel, and they come out typically around September. That show, we've put so much work into the production quality, making it look like National Geographic, absolutely gorgeous. And we work really hard on the storytelling and the deep dive into conservation. But we wanted to interact with our audience all year round. So because of that, we had to figure out a way to create a series where we could interact with that audience all the time. So we started our vlog, and you can find it on our YouTube channel. The first couple episodes are already up, but we're going to be doing one a week, so a new one's going to come every Friday. Don't expect the same video quality that you get from our main TV show. This is more like along for the ride and filmed right there with us. We could be doing anything from hunting to fishing to trying to put that darn blind together on our duck boat and anything in between. And this will actually be an episode of that where we'll go out, do the squirrel hunt, participate, do the weigh-ins, use the gun, donate the gun, all that sort of thing. So it should be pretty darn cool. Be a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm excited too because I'm actually going to have a table where we're going to show people how to process the squirrels. And then I've been asking some people for tried and true squirrel recipes. So if you manage to get a hold of that fella, pass the recipe along because
Yeah.
I'm going to send home some recipe cards just so it's more like I'm not trying to do a squirrel, killing tournament. I want to do a concert with conservation in mind where it's, field to table.
So what's going to be the setup for the cleaning then?
Just some long tables, kind of just bring in groups where people can do it like with one person instructing at each table.
Okay.
And then we'll have big, contractor bags and garbage cans where they can, throw stuff if they don't keep the hide.
If I'm doing the weighing, we could probably have Jeffrey do that. Jeffrey could volunteer.
Okay.
The other host of the show. We should have him do that.
Yeah, he'd be out of there by
Midnight.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he's an
Oh,
inch and away.
He's not the quickest. He'll help 2 people.
yeah. we
He does it perfect, though, to be fair.
he does do it perfect. He was cleaning a coyote, and
I'll never
we were
forget that.
we were in
6
Ohio,
hours.
Skinning it whole.
and
It's not an easy task. It was his first time.
we're dying just to get home. We just want to leave, and once he gets done with this thing, we can get out of Dodge and get home. took him forever to do this thing. We're just sitting there. It was mind-numbing how long it was taking him.
Legitimately took 6 hours.
I think, yeah, 6 hours, I think, is what I remember.
6 hours,
was
3 minutes.
crazy.
Something. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It was perfect. Yeah, that was my
Just
first
took forever.
coyote.
Where is that pelt? That
We put that pelt that night. We got home, put it in the freezer. That way we could take it into the taxidermy. Jeff's parents lost power that night, and it rotted. And they didn't know. Like, something went on the fritz in the basement only. So something happened down there where it just rotted.
he tripped the
So
breaker
after
'cause
all
he didn't
that-
close the door.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd like to blame him. I just don't think it was him that time. I'd like to blame him, though.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, your adventure starts here. Savage Arms, Nosler Ammunition, Bosch Shot Shells, Wilderness Athlete, fuel for the rugged, Tracker Boats, fish the finest, Eagle Fishing, designed for the savvy angler, Rufus Teague Barbecues, Snacks, and Spices, Rectech Grills, it's more than a grill, it's a way of life, Sea-Doo, make your own waves, LEM Products, motivating people to hunt, process, and prepare their own food, Quiet Cat, the leader in electronic bikes for hunting, fishing, camping, and exploring. Consistency. That's what you aim for with every practice shot. So when you're out in the field, you get that same consistency every shot. With Carlson's choke tubes, consistency is what you'll get. Our choke tubes are long-lasting, high quality, and made right here in the USA. Carlson's choke tubes, pattern tested, hunter approved. Find out more at choketube.com.
Are you anxious to get going? Knowing that the clock is ticking and time truly is the most precious commodity in the world? Then you, my friend, are in good company.
Is there potential for fishing tournaments too? Is that like a thing for you guys to set up? Like if summertime, SEI Flint fishing tournament.
Yeah, so we haven't ran a tournament yet. Totally open to it. I do have a couple trips that are lined up between going walleye, muskie, and then salmon fishing. All beginner level, or you can sign up forever. We're doing it with some of the outfitters that we regularly work with, but you can sign up. So if it's just two of you, you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to be like, oh, I have to find other people or else now it's too expensive. So you can sign up as individuals. So we run those. I'm trying to get some stuff set up to go up steelhead fishing. I love the Pierre Marquette River, so I think that'd be really fun because it's like a Michigan tradition of, getting out on the rivers. We have some of the best rivers in the country, in my humble opinion. And a lot of people just don't take advantage of it. So I'm a big advocate of that. So I know we've got some events that we're doing. We have every month educational series that'll start in March with our first one is actually going to be an intro to steelhead fishing, where you can come. You can either attend via Zoom or come in person. Obviously, anyone can attend from anywhere via Zoom, or you can come in person here in Flint.
What was it called?
It's going to be an intro to steelhead fishing.
Okay, with the the whole program though.
That's going to be through Safari Club Internet, the SEI Flint chapter, our educational series.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
So
pretty
every
cool.
month we kind of pick things. It's starting off with steelhead. The following month it's going to be morel mushroom foraging. Another thing that everyone in Michigan and all over the place loves, but you can kind of maybe hesitant if you don't know that much about it because you're like, God, I don't want to eat the wrong mushroom.
Yeah, right.
So come hang out with us.
Or just end up wandering around in the woods.
Yeah, right. Be successful.
Yeah.
So we're doing these educational series. So each month it's going to be based on something that's kind of like a hot topic for any of the outdoorsmen or women to get involved.
I'm actually pumped about that because I've been steelhead fishing 6 times and I could still probably do that beginner course.
Oh,
Dude, it's
like that?
It's its own thing, dude. It's you can be sitting in a hole and not have a damn clue what's going on, and you go with people that know what they're doing, and you can spend all day and still only get 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because the fish are so few and far in between. When at least in Michigan, in my experience, so everyone's like, "You suck. I'm great. I catch 30 a day." The fish are, yeah, that's a popular place. Because the fish are so few and far between. Because going out and getting 3 in a day would be huge. It's like, am I doing it right the whole time you're questioning yourself? Because it's so like I said, if you went out for 6 hours, 5 hours, and you got 3 or 4 fish, you'd be bragging.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, usually
So-
when you talk to them, they go, I hooked 5 of them.
Yeah, and
What
I
does that
got
mean? How many did you catch?
That's a
They're
great
like,
point.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great
That's
point.
funny.
Yeah,
I
no,
hooked 5 of them.
no, everyone says that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
what's that equivalent to?
Especially,
So nothing happened?
Well, no, yeah.
that'd be equivalent to like, I flushed 5 pheasant.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, okay.
You know how when we go trout fishing and those brook trout or brown trout can find their way into anything and break you off? Imagine that, but with like a humongous 8-pound, 12-pound, 15-pound fish.
Yeah.
Just figuring shit out, wrapping around this, going under that. Great fighters, using the current, and on top of that, like tricking them is so hard, especially on like a fly rod. You're using such light line, and then you finally get them on, and if they go, they'll break you.
Yeah.
So it's just so difficult to actually get them inshore. The other thing is the tippy dam thing. You've got people lined up all over the shore on both sides, and like you're like got one, and people are pretty cool about it. There's a few fist fights every year, a couple trashy people out there fighting, but like normally people try and get out of your way and stuff, but like you have to walk down the shore with them if you get to a point where you can't anymore. And I do know that being in a boat ups your odds a shit ton though. With that, like being able to be. You like go up the river 100 yards and you're away from everyone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you're in a boat.
Yeah.
So I know that there's a lot of value to that. But yeah, sorry. Steelhead fishing's crazy.
Yeah. That's good info.
Yeah, good eating.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like SEI is like a pretty good advocate for like when people bring in ideas, like they're receptive to that. Because it sounds like that education series? Are you guys one of the only ones doing that, or is that like more on a national level?
I can't tell you what every single chapter is doing. There's a couple hundred chapters across the world. I know for my local chapter, it's been fantastic. SEI's mission is to involve all types of different outdoorsmen and women, and there's a huge demographic that we're missing, right? It's the 25 to 35-year-old men and women, and then women in general.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very big on doing whatever we can to get people involved, and me being within that demographic, I'm like, hey, this is what me and my friends would like to do. Now I've gotten all these different, people involved, and really we take a poll. I'm like, what do you guys want to see? Like, I can put together any event that I like, but what do you want to do? So then we have a chapter hog hunt coming on in April.
How you doing that?
We're going up to the Trophy Ranch. It's in Ubley.
Oh yeah.
Awesome place. Yeah, so we set it up. We've got a day that's just reserved for our group, and you can come, weapon of choice, and have some fun. So it's a great price, and go up there, and that's going to be cool because it's going to be a bunch of beginners. It's guided. You can either do it like by yourself and just go out there and be a cowboy, or you can go with a guide. So it's going to be a cool, really diverse group that we're taking of all experience levels, men, women. It's gonna
What
be
did that
wild.
run per person?
$450.
Okay, how many can you shoot?
That is for one.
How big are the pigs there?
One of my buddies, I can't tell you about every hog that's out there, but he got the world record for a
That all?
for a hog. Yeah, it's a monster. I think he shot it with a revolver, which is pretty cool.
How'd that taste?
They process it there for you, so he had bacon for like a year. He said it was amazing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like legitimately bacon or just?
I think it was the feral hog version of
Yeah.
bacon.
So like the meteor version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Did he say anything specifically on the taste?
He said it was great.
No kidding.
Yep.
I want to do it.
The
Yeah.
one we got in Hawaii. Remember how tough it was?
We did eat it within I cut it off of the animal, walked into the
Like
kitchen
2
and
hours
put it in
prior.
the pan. So
Yeah.
that was it didn't really help us.
It was the toughest meat.
That
we didn't do it right. To be fair, we didn't do anything
That-
right as far as prepping the meat.
the flavor was proper. Like
Yeah,
it was
oh, yeah.
tasted like pork.
It tasted good, but it was the best example of chewing on leather
Oh, God.
ever. It wasn't overcooked. It was just really tough meat.
No, it's rare. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
125. That's what you get it to.
Yeah, well, I don't think that pig had anything. There was nothing about that pig that wasn't tough.
Yeah.
The meat was tough, but that sucker had one ear left. He had like half his face gone. He'd
been through some stuff.
He'd been through it.
And he lived in a cactus.
And
Remember, there was
yeah.
like this giant cactus that like the middle of this big growth of cacti had like been hollowed out, and they were like all hiding in there. So tough.
That's
dude.
episode 16 of the Green Outdoors, which is actually on our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and that is the Hawaii wild boar and spearfishing episode, where you can actually see one-eared Willie
Yeah.
for yourself. Yeah, that was actually one of the better shots I've ever made. Bravo to you on the camera work, though, because none of that really mattered if you didn't get it. We had this pig. First one comes out. I shoot it. It drops instantly. I'm like, okay, good. And then we go walking up to it, and out of the this cactus bush thing, one explodes out and goes running, and or two explode out and go running. And I'm like, oh, geez. And I still have the dead cartridge in my gun. So I have to rack out the one I shot already, rack another one in, and I lift up, and it's like, I would never do this with like a deer or whatever, but it's pigs, and they're trying to get rid of them. So I shoot again as he's running, and I hit him right in the back of the head, flat, and then he went flipping head over heels, but the fact that you got it all clean and in focus and perfect
It
was
happened pretty fast.
Yeah, because we did not expect him to come out of it. We didn't think there was anything else in there.
Mm-mm.
You were just filming me walking up or whatever, and you just like transitioned perfectly.
Worked out well.
Yeah, but anyhow, the meat itself once we got it home was fantastic, but
Yeah.
it takes a little prep work. You can't just
Do what we did.
Yeah, we actually did a podcast a couple weeks ago. If you can look at it, it's like I forgot what number it is, but with Hank Shaw, and he's a professional chef, and we talked about how to properly age meat, how long it should be hanging, how that works. So if you're interested in not having, shoe leather, check that one out. I wanted to make one quick note, totally off subject, but right now you're seeing I'm wearing this vest, and this is actually Savage's new clothing line. So Savage has worked really, really, really hard. And when I say Savage, I mean Savage Arms. The gun company has worked really hard to develop all this new clothing line, and they're actually going to be having an Amazon store. Because you're a viewer of the Green Outdoors, you're going to get 15% off of that. It comes out Monday the 15th today. And if you go to the link that is in the description of this video, you're going to get 15% off there. They didn't shortchange it. I don't want you to think that this is some merch thing, like where every company has like a shirt with their name on it or something like that. It is not that. They worked really, really hard to design their own clothing that's awesome. Right now, I'm wearing the vest and the hat. Ryan is wearing one of the sweaters. That one right there, that hoodie, flip it inside out. It's got the squares inside it that are really, really tough. So if you're like getting hung up on bushes and stuff like that, it won't get messed up.
It's like the ripstop.
But it's insanely warm. That's the warmest hoodie I have. They also have other hoodies on there that are just really, 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 really heavy, but thin and just an awesome material. The product quality is like the Ferrari of clothing. It's
Nice.
really, really, really good. Great for outdoors. I highly recommend it. It's brand new. Check them out. Again, it's on the Amazon store, which is pretty cool because they had enough trouble trying to get this into different stores, but because they're a gun company, they run those difficulties. So if you're proud of your Second Amendment rights, this is the clothing company for you. So check that out as well. Thank you so much for tuning into the Green Outdoors podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks
And
for having me.
I'm excited for the squirrel hunting competition. And in the next podcast or the one after that, we'll talk about how we did in it. And I'll probably be upset, but it's okay. Check out our vlog series on our YouTube channel. If you're listening to this podcast as opposed to watching it, you can actually watch it on our YouTube channel and Carbon TV. Also, the Green Outdoors TV show is streaming on historychannel.com, the History Channel app that you can find on your Rokus, any of those different devices on your television. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay green.